Planning a trip to Milos, Greece? Before you pack your bag and book that dream Airbnb, here are the things that I wish I knew before visiting Milos so that you can skip the surprises and soak up every magical moment. Hi, if you are new here, which many of you will be, my name is Jessica. I'm a fashion, lifestyle, and travel content creator. This is my brand new second YouTube channel dedicated to all my travel content. So if you love dreamy destinations and honest travel tips, then you're definitely gonna wanna subscribe for more. Let's jump into this video. Okay, number one, there's no public transportation on the island. Now, typically when I've traveled to any other European country or city, I really do rely on their public transportation to get around. It's so convenient. But on Milos, there really is none of that. There are a few buses, but they're pretty infrequent and they're not gonna take you to all of the best beaches or remote villages.
That's not to say that you absolutely couldn't make it work on public transportation, but you just wouldn't have the same freedom and flexibility.
So you will need to rent a vehicle of some kind, which leads me to my second point. You gotta rent a car or a scooter or an ATV. If you want to be able to explore Milos properly and be able to go wherever you would like, you're gonna need a car. Trust me, you will want to book this in advance. There's only so many cars to rent on the island and they can book up quickly, especially during peak tourist season. If you really do need like a more budget-friendly option or you need an automatic car, definitely don't wait to book your rental car because those are the options that might book up quickly and then you might be stuck renting something that's a little bit more out of your price range or only having manual transmission as your car option. And if you don't drive manual, you're gonna be in bad shape. This is not the place to learn stick shift. Trust me. The roads here can go from being wide open to being so narrow that only one car can pass through in each direction of traffic. So oftentimes you have to pull over to the side to allow the car coming from the other way to go through. Sometimes that had to happen while we were going uphill and y'all, my husband, who normally is just great at driving stick, there was a couple nerve-wracking moments that we had, trust me. If you absolutely need an automatic vehicle, book it in advance. Where you stay really matters. Milos is a very small island, but the area you stay in makes a huge difference in your overall experience. We stayed in Klima, which is stunning and charming, but it is a little bit more remote. It doesn't have a whole lot of amenities around it, which we actually kind of liked, but you might not enjoy that. Maybe you're the type of person who likes to stay in a place where there's a lot of different restaurants and shops that you can easily access or walk to. In that case, you might want to opt for staying in Plaka or Adamas. Decide if you want convenience or charm and go with that. Not all beaches are easy to reach.
Let's just go to some crazy beach. Check it out, Jess. And then let's risk our breaking our necks so you can go to a beach.
Yeah.
Come out here. Where am I? Just
Wow.
kidding.
That was romantic. I love it.
Some of the best beaches, like Cyclades Beach, they are a bit of a challenge to get to. I actually have a whole little video about our experience going to Cyclades Beach, so I'll link that up in the cards and down in the description box if you want to watch that whole experience next. But it definitely required climbing down two very sketchy ladders to scale these beach cliffs to get to this very stunning but remote beach. Other beaches like Kleftiko Beach you can only access by boat. So if you're looking for the most picturesque swim spots, then get ready to work for them. You'll want to pack water shoes and layers. Okay, first of all, can I just rant for a second? I hate water shoes. I think they are so hideous. I don't understand why someone can't just design a water shoe that looks aesthetic. I did find this pair on Amazon, which I actually kind of liked the best because they sort of blended into my skin tone and didn't look so just absolutely awful when I was wearing a bathing suit. But I digress. The reason why you want to have some kind of water shoes is a lot of the beaches here are, yes, sandy, but do have a lot of pebbles and little rocks. So if your feet are sensitive and you don't love the feeling of walking on rocks, then you're definitely gonna want those water shoes. The water shoes also come in handy when you're climbing down the ladders to Cyclades Beach. Having those like closed toe type shoes to do that also can double as a shoe that you can wear into the water is the perfect option for that scenario. And also where we stayed in Klima, we almost pretty much had to wade through water every time we left and came back from our Airbnb. So you're just gonna want a pair of shoes that can handle getting wet, period. You'll also want to make sure that you pack layers. Even if you're here in the summertime, it does get a little bit cool at night, especially if you are by the water. So even if it is so hot during the day, you will be happy by the time the sun sets that you have like a light jacket or a sweater with you. One thing that really surprised me about Milos was how quiet and small it feels, even in peak season. I mean, we were there at the end of August, so still technically high travel season, but even in August, Milos feels really low key. And I think that's one of the things we liked about it. There are no massive beach clubs or parties here. So if you are coming here expecting Mykonos energy, you are not going to get it. This is like the opposite of Mykonos. What Milos does offer is just a really chill local vibe. So if you want just pure relaxation and stunning views, this is definitely going to be the island for you. Shops and restaurants keep island hours. And here's what I mean by that. Don't be surprised if places randomly close midday or just aren't even open when Google says that they will be. Make sure to just go with the flow and have a backup plan if some place that you were planning on visiting ends up being closed. Also, keep in mind, if you are going to try to come here in like the earlier spring or maybe even like the later summer, early fall to avoid crowds, some of the businesses on the island do not stay open year round. They only open during those months where there's more people visiting the island. So that's also something to keep in mind. You may have limited options of places to go out to eat or shop if you do come like on the shoulder season rather than during the months that most people are there. The other thing that surprised me about Milos is that beaches are the main attraction here, not the villages or the towns. The charm of Milos is in the water, in the cliffs, and the coves. Plaka is like one of the few villages that really is like a main draw in Milos. This island isn't about museums or monuments. It's really just about chasing the sun and floating in the most gorgeous, crystal clear blue water you've ever seen. Another thing that really caught me off guard was that distances to drive seem short, but they can actually take a lot longer than you think that they will. You'll look at a map and think, oh, that only has to be like 10 minutes away, right? But with all the winding roads and like one lane passes, and sometimes the roads go from being paved to being gravel to being dirt. Let's just say driving places can take longer than you think. Definitely leave yourself a little extra time when you're planning out your days. There is a ton of history on Milos, but it's not super obvious. There's more to Milos than just beaches. Milos is home to some of the oldest catacombs in the world. They're actually even older than the catacombs in Rome, and you can visit them. They're right above the village of Klima, where we stayed. You can also find an ancient Roman amphitheater in that same area. This is also, fun fact, where the Venus de Milo statue was discovered. If you've ever been to the Louvre in Paris, then you've probably seen it. It's a very famous statue. You can also check out the caves in Kleftiko where pirates used to hide. There's just so much cool and interesting history on Milos. You just have to know where to look for it. Okay, this surprised me, but tap water on Milos is not drinkable. Do not drink it. Definitely make sure that you have plenty of bottled water. If you're staying in like a more remote area like we did in Klima, before you head to your Airbnb, head to a local market and stock up on a bunch of bottled water and maybe some other food items to have in your Airbnb just for convenience sake. Or bring a reusable water bottle and fill up at filtered stations whenever possible. Okay, this one is tough, and it's that restaurants fill up fast, especially during peak travel season. You'll likely need a reservation for dinner in some of the more popular restaurants. So make sure that you think ahead and make those reservations well before your trip, especially if you want to make sure that you reserve a table with a view. Some of these restaurants are on the water and they have tables that are situated closest to the water. Those are the ones that are gonna go first. So you wanna make sure that you have that gorgeous romantic spot for your dinner. You're gonna definitely want to book ahead. Some places won't take reservations and you'll just have to go with the flow in those situations. Or you can make sure to arrive early for lunch or dinner right before they open to make sure that you're one of the first people in, kind of like how we did when we went to the Medusa Cafe in Mandrakia. That place is so good. This is something that really surprised me. Milos is a great budget-friendly alternative to Santorini. One of the main reasons why my husband and I chose to go to Milos is because we wanted to sort of have the similar vibe of Santorini, but we didn't really want to go to Santorini on this trip because we heard it was really overpriced and super crowded and popular with tourists. So we wanted something a little bit more chill and a little bit more affordable. And Milos is a great way to get that vibe of Santorini without the high price tag and without battling the insane crowds. And the reason why is because a lot of the architecture on Milos is going to have that similar style to some of the villages that are very famous and popular on Santorini. We're talking that like whitewashed walls, villages set up on top of a like mountain or hill overlooking the ocean. Obviously Milos and Santorini are very different, but if you aren't completely dead set on going to Santorini, Milos can be a great alternative if you're looking for something a little bit more affordable and a little bit more quiet. If you're planning your trip to Milos, I hope this video helps you have the best time. And if you are planning a trip, I highly recommend you check out my 4-day Milos itinerary that my husband and I did while we were there. This will lay out exactly 4 days, everything that you can see and do. That way it takes all the guesswork out of it for you. And if you want to watch our full Milos vlog, I'll put that one right here so you can watch one of these 2 videos next. Please don't forget to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. I'll see you over here on one of these. And if not, I'll see you on the next one. Bye.